Welcome to the grim, lawless 23rd century, following the fall of U.S. Gov and mass depopulation of major cities at the hands of the multi-trillionaire DeHuberton family. Baptized in radioactive hellfire, a rare mutation makes Turbo a fiercely pumped scrapper, haunted by specters from her past, surviving the post-apocalyptic wasteland one deathmatch pit fight at a time. But when she rescues the stunning trophy girl, the unlikely duo are thrust into a harrowing odyssey, evading marauding berserkers at every turn on their way to the ultimate showdown as they uncover the horrific truth behind the fall of humanity. Jacobs, writer and penciler, and Kurt Brugel, co-writer and inker, are thrilled to announce the release of the first Turbo teaser, a significant milestone in the indie comic book industry. Jake and Kurt are the first and only duo to create a comic book live on air in a split-screen podcast. But that's not all. Recognizing the challenges and triumphs of indie comic creators, Kurt and Jake have another recurring segment of their podcast spotlighting other indie comic creators who share their stories, discuss their creative process, offer insights into audience building, and ponder the future of comics.
Happy Turbo Sunday, Jake. How you doing over there?
Happy Sunday, Kurt. Every Sunday is a Turbo Sunday for Turbo Pit Fighter. Welcome, folks, to the post-apocalyptic landscape of comic book making.
Yeah, independent comic book making. So I want to hog the mic just for a couple of minutes. Hopefully it'll just be a couple of minutes. I just have some things I want to share. And they're always comic book related. Yesterday I was able to get out and do another life drawing session at the Delaware Contemporary. It was an absolutely, it was a packed room. That's how the energy was great. So I just wanted to show off a couple of, the model was new to modeling. I think she was about this was third or fourth time. This was great. Check this foreshortening out. Foreshortening on a Saturday morning right there, people.
Yeah, that just looks 100% realistic.
Right? So that was really tough. And then she took a little nap. And then she did a Nefertiti. So a little Nefertiti right there.
I got a question for life drawing.
Here you go. And then
when you're drawing a regular human with all their imperfections, to a superhero?
To be completely honest with you, Jake, all I look for are imperfections.
Right.
I'm not. I approach life drawing for two reasons. The first one is to not make art. I just want my hand moving with my eye. And that's all this is. Like, this was the last 10-minute one. And I literally have this style where it's like a cartoon. So I'll cartoon out something real gestural, and then I go in and kind of refine. But I'm also looking for just sort of things. Like, she did have big thighs. You know, her feet were obviously right there in front of me, and then her head was small. But, it was real. The second thing is the character. Like, I don't try to turn the model into like a superhero per se or a character, but if there's something that they're omitting to me at least, then I will make nuances. And then when I get home, I'll make some time and maybe create some flourishes. But to be honest with you, I very rarely get that happening. But, it's a lot about the body proportioning, relationship to, anatomical features and the such. So,
yeah, drawing from life is just so valuable when you have a model there. I don't care if it's 10-second poses or 10 minutes or whatever. You don't get that when you're drawing from imagination, obviously, and you don't get that when you're drawing from a flat example like a screen or a photo.
Yeah.
You can move your head around the bend. You can see how real shading in lighting is hitting the subject. So
Yeah.
it's just so valuable, and it translates
Yeah.
so valuably to comic.
And the energy, I just have to say, as a card carrying art nerd, I just love art and the process of making and talking with other artists, or at least standing in a gallery. And that's the cool thing at the Delaware Contemporary, is that the session is in their main gallery. So you notice here, I actually drew in real quickly two of the paintings that were flanking her. That's actually in the studio, in the gallery space. And like I said, there was a lot of people. It was probably 20 people. So you're a little crammed in, but you're peeking over your out of the corner of your eye to see what they're doing and stuff. And it's just really good energy. So if you have to drive to a major city, or the town over, because there's one going on in their art center, get out there, do it. And also the other part of it is, you'll come across people who are actually a lot better than you at it, or at least offer some visual tricks, if you will. But I always ask people what they think of my work. Hey, what do you think of this? Oh, wow. Oh, that's very comic booky. Yeah, well, that's what I do. Oh, really? What do you do? And then try to ask them what they work on.
Oh, I happen to have a couple copies of Turbo Teaser right
here.
here.
I'm not that bad yet. So wanted to share that. Thank you. And then on my inking journey, I did this past week. I had a pretty big commission. Well, I'm going to explain in just a second, which might give us some grumblings in the comments. So I've been playing with ChatGPT and Playground AI. So to generate sketches for me, and I have been playing around with the basic how to prompt. And so this is what Thick Barbarian Babe 1958 indicates. These were some of the words I used to basically start generating images for me. So this is a printout of what Playground AI generated for me. It's a little thumbnail. I blow it up to 11 by 17. I get some trace transfer and very quickly create an outline. And then I do my thing, where I'm smudging and erasing and then inking. And then I use my fluid mask here. And then really distress it, and then finalize it to a point. But this is like an exercise in getting things more resolved with my inking technique. Shoot, you have a question?
Yeah. Is that a subscription service that you use?
I use the free one, so it's slow. I usually generate these right when I wake up in the morning, so there's not that many people, which is 5 o'clock in the morning for me. I'll do a couple dozen, but you'll see things will repeat. And of course, also there'll be a lot of deformities to the anatomy and stuff. But this was it was like thick, full figure. It was woman, full figured, barbarian, babe, 1958, skulls. I think that was it. And then I just started, messing around with it. So this is really fun. I've got a couple others, and this was something to keep me, my commission was not this style. It was a lot straightforward, and I had to stay within the lines, but I love having a sense of freedom. So that was it. But, this is another thing that I also like doing. This is art, obviously, people. Oh, that's your original art. But this is the art. This would appear in a comic book. And this is what I'm after. It's like, how well did I do here in order to translate this into a page of art, inked in my style, distressed. And I think it's pretty good. And of course, this is an inkjet, so it's already cruddy. But I'm able to look and see, okay, well, this is probably getting too dark here, or it needs to get a little lighter there. I'll make a little bit of adjustments and then move on. But really happy with that. Wanted to share that.
Yeah, I think the letters those are generated by the AI
Nope,
too.
that's me. That's me.
Oh.
You can, but it's hard. I don't like the thing about it is I'm not using Playground AI to make art. It's not that. It gives me a sketchy amount of information that I would go anyways to flipping through a comic book and finding a figure and a pose. It's eliminating very quickly that path. And then I get into something very quickly here and then just start messing about. So it eliminates a lot of establishment. Now, it doesn't mean that I don't want to draw things out, and I do, and I have, and I will. But right now, I'm very connected to my inking and this style that I'm really getting closer and
Uh-huh.
closer to. So there's just things in my head that I don't want to do on Turbo's pages, or even my Crom the Barbarian Revised Edition. So these things are stuck in my head, and I want to see them come about, and how they then, like I said, translate into a black and white piece of art.
Yeah. No,
And then I'm only going to tease you with this. So I've got my own, and I think this is going to lead over to what you were saying in our last episode, which is you had some sketches to share, and I've been working on a turbo pinup that will be in our second turbo teaser. But I'm not going to share anything more about it until I get there. So I'm going to shoot it all back to you, Jake.
Right. Well, let's see. I have a bunch of things on my rundown. So why don't we pick one? I could do my comic haul. I got the sketches. I want to talk about the Tumblr. I saw some terrible B movies that I need to blame you for, and yeah, and I also want to give an update on the money raising on the eBay. So
Okay.
pick a top.
Well, can your sketches that you were going to show last week?
Right. So we are.
Why did you get that over with? So the good people who come back wanting to know what it is that you wanted to share in the way of sketches are
Well, we'll get
fulfilled.
to it all, but yeah, the second turbo teaser is on the closeout. We need to get everything ready for it. I did show these character studies that I did for some kind of like ancillary characters that are
Yeah,
coming
so
up.
cool. That's so
But
cool.
we also need to zero in on our cover. Um, so I had this one in the works for a long time. This is a sketch. This is an old sketch. I don't even know when I did it. Maybe 20 years ago. Um,
Oh, I love it. God, I
Turbo
love
had
it.
Turbo had some leopard skin shorts
I love
and
it. I love it.
slightly different boots. Um, but this page is all ripped, so I don't know if that's usable. This sketch was what I had been working on. Started out as just a pinup, but I did leave the top area kind of free and open so that we could definitely squeeze in a masthead. And I kind of started penciling in, tons and tons of members in the crowd. Here, the pose kind of struck me as weird. Like, she's raising her arms, victorious. There's multiple dead guys in the pit.
It's
Um,
great.
I think I might just fix up her legs a little bit. Obviously,
Yeah.
they're still a little sketchy here. And then
Yeah.
there's a lot more to do here where I want to try to like put a little bit of detail, but then maybe we'll stylize it so that we don't have to draw every single person in there, and then we can just have the turbo pit fighter up here. When I looked at this for the first time in a while, it kind of struck me as I don't know, just an odd pose. So I started a different sketch. Oh, and by the way, I have this as a layover.
Oh wow, Jake. Oh
Where,
wow. You might have our 2024 new logo there. Oh wow.
yeah,
You
well, what
gotta
this will be like
yeah.
it'll have a dominant color and then a two-tone color
Can
to
you
it. You
drop
can,
that down? Because I'm going to give you a full screen on that. Drop it down, just so we can all, because it's
uh-huh.
kind of cut off at the ends.
Oh, do I get the spotlight?
You're going to
Um,
get the spotlight. Drop it down.
so,
Pull it down. Pull it
like
down the
that,
center. Yeah, and pick it up a little bit.
right? Yeah, because I put
Yeah.
this on vellum,
Oh,
and
oh.
if you're doing comics, everybody should get a pad of vellum. This is so like valuable to do, layovers and say because I want to say, well, how is this going to fit together? Well, obviously we would have, obviously we would have the fist in front of this, and I guess hopefully that would still be readable. If not, then, well, oh well, people have to like flip the page to see what it's called or look at the spine. I don't know. But yeah, I like how this came out. This was like my third try. You can see I have the blue line pencil behind it, and a bunch of erasure. So there's that, and then I made, as I said, this other sketch where I think I just blue penciled it, and I don't know if it's a better pose. You'll tell me, but this
Oh,
was kind of a layout where, and maybe I could back off on it like this just for a second. Um,
whoa.
where she is hefting a motorcycle above her head and about to
Yeah,
throw a motorcycle above her head. Um,
yeah.
so I mean, I'm sure they're both usable. I just wonder which one we should
It all is.
prioritize.
Um,
This will have the
um,
this will have the Doom Mags logo here and the little
right,
side masthead.
right. Can you
So
show I think that would be a great back cover piece. And the one before it would make a good front cover piece.
well, I would probably want to buy. I would probably if we make this the back cover piece, I might want to shrink it down, and because I do want to have some um, space for the
Text.
all yeah a lot of text. I love the idea of putting in some text, and boy, do I have some text to add. But but this is also comic format right here, right? As
Right,
opposed
right.
to 8.5/11. When we did the back cover and that zine design last time, is that a comic format or is that a 8.5/11 format? I know it's slightly different.
I had generated it. It's a comic book size, so and then you redid these or made initially a bunch of these text blurbs, and then we condensed them.
Right.
You still have like two or three other large
Oh
amounts of
yeah.
text that you had spread out through here, so we can
Yeah.
definitely And
So
I made some noise about trying to do some of this lettering by hand too, just to offset just the typing and so on.
right. That was the back cover. Yeah. So that I also have this. I also have this sketch for the
That's
this is the little troop that's going to be slaughtered in the last 3 pages by the unbeknownst one. This is going to be Mr. Ike's wife, who needs a name, by the way, if you have anything in mind. Um, and she's got a good name,
Berta,
Berta.
Berta, Berta, Berda.
Berta sounds like Barda. Okay,
But and then it also is like Roberta or
right.
Roberta, but instead of the ta, it would
Well, why
just
don't we
be
just put
duh.
the R and with a small a, Roberta? I like Roberta better.
I don't like names longer than like four letters
Okay.
personally. So
And this was just this was me tooling around for the unbeknownst one, the Hugh B. And I kind of landed on this. This was old, but I think I want to have him have like a little dreadlock fountain up top and a mask, which reminds me of Humongous, of course, from the Road Warrior. But with these like Doctor Doom cutouts and like big stitches here. This is going to change, but I was just using that as my guide for now. We did so yeah, so that's the sketches that we have, and I'm always sketching. People should always carry a sketchbook with them. You never know. Yeah, this we did a turbo update last week. I'm starting the page here where this steeple is opening up, but I was just thinking about, I thought I was going to have these nuns just like positioned here, like they're going to come up from these ladders here, and there's going to be all these like positions where they take.
drop. You gotta pull that down. You're off camera. Yeah,
Right.
thank you.
I'm just drawing in these ladders right here, but I was gonna have it where they where they're just standing on these platforms, kind of like Taylor Swift on the stage when they open when it opens up and they walk down towards the audience. But I was thinking like, that wouldn't be. I mean, they would be kind of exposed there. So I want to have a pose where you can see that and you can see them wearing their garters. But I'm thinking now maybe I should try to design some kind of turret that they're standing behind with like a 50 cal type gun. And so while you were talking before, I was just trying to sketch what that might look like in a little bit of a blow up here. Although this would give them more protection, so it's more realistic to the story. I still want to get that pose of them in the garters, to remind people of kind of like the Robert Rodriguez movie that we all love. So I'll see. I guess I'll look on my thumbnails to see if I have a spot where they could, like, if the turrets are on these little tracks that they can move closer and closer back and farther, closer and farther back. I don't know. I'm just trying
And
to
it's
like.
sitting, but it's sitting on top of.
Well, yeah,
It's sitting on top of the leaf. It's not. Yeah,
they're
it's
going to
on
be
top of that.
on these platforms that just fold down, right?
Right.
Right. And there'll be these ladders and these tracks. I mean, this is only going to be like a very brief thing because this whole orphanage is going to go sky high within a couple of pages from now. But maybe we'll have like a couple of extra nuns in garters that are like firing, but behind the turrets. I don't know.
Extra
I'm
numbers.
working on that, but you know what? I'm kind of itching to do a mini haul. I'm just gonna grab like 5 comics.
Go for it, man. Go for it.
All right. And so now I'm getting my haul kind of mixed up here. So forgive me, but I think these are comics that I got from the Nyack store that's going out of business. Bum, bum, bum. This is just going to be looking at some covers. We're not going to be going through much. They're going out of business, so they were 60% off. And I did a lot of flipping around, and so I got this for 60% off. And I there was a couple more Red Sonjas I could have bought, but some of them were marked $10. So here I only got it for like less than $2, and I could probably sell that on not Twitch. What am I thinking? On Whatnot. I don't know why I bought this. Maurice Severin is very underrated, and
Yes, she is.
and so I don't have too much of her. I know she did Hulk. I know she did Sergeant Fury. I don't even know if she did the insides here, but whenever I see 20 cents, I always try to get it. Any Marvels that are 20 cents are good. Doesn't matter to me.
You're right.
Here is a Kirby cover. of Sergeant Fury, and this is Special Marvel Edition number 5, number 12.
So that was $2 and you got it for 60% off?
Yep.
Oh, jeez.
Yep. I mean,
Oh,
but
man.
I had to go through
I
boxes.
should.
I had to go through boxes and boxes and boxes. Like I mean,
Oh, poor baby.
yeah, maybe this was underpriced. I don't even know why. Oh, I got this because it's Paul Galassi. And Paul Galassi's work for DC was spotlighted on Comics Kayfabe. He did do Batman for I think a couple of issues. This inker really messed it up. This is not Paul Galassi in his best light, I don't think. And I don't know if this was if Galassi inking himself. I hate this Zipatone, whatever.
That's all early 90s crap, right? That's 93. No, is it 93? Is
I
that what it's saying?
don't.
Showcase
Oh yeah,
93?
yeah. Showcase
Is
'93.
that what it said? Yeah, I mean, because that's when Marvel's grotesque computer coloring stuff was
Well,
really
this
being pushed on us.
right or DC. You can see the Photoshop business
Yeah,
here,
yeah,
but
yeah.
this
Well,
is also
those guys were mimicking what the Image Boys have done.
so.
But yeah,
This is the Huntress. I know. I don't know who that is, and I don't know who that is. They mentioned Martian Manhunter, Doctor Light, and Peacemaker. I'm sorry, DC. You just don't have as good characters. Oh, is it Deathstroke and Katana? Okay, this is Katana, and I guess that guy's Deathstroke. Sorry, DC. You just don't got it. Um, Here's Miss Mystic. This is Neil Adams. This is a number 1. I think I went over this one already.
oh, nice. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I love that. That was one of my favorite comics when it came out.
Created and written by Neil Adams. Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's like a Doctor Strange type of character, but her costume is, just like, hey, I have a whole bunch of these Zipatone gradient sheets. Like, how cool is that? I'm like, well, it doesn't hold up, man. And this was 1982. And to look at this now, it's like so unimpressive because any computer can do like a million things just like that. And it just, it doesn't really capture anybody. I think we spoke about that. Neil Adams is just unbeatable with his foreshortening and his angles, his packed in pages. And then in the back, I think we had some fantasy by Chris Miller. Look at this. This is kind of cool. This looks Frazetta-ish, definitely. I'm not supposed to be looking on the inside. Marvel Premiere number 16 featuring Iron Fist. This one has some condition problems, but I had all of them when I was a kid. Gil Kane cover. I don't know who's doing the inside. Hopefully not Larry Hama. But when I look through this, I'm going to be going backwards in time in my brain and finding those pathways because I've seen it all before. And what an incredible thing, like 50 years later or maybe 40 years later, to go back and see these things again, right? Unbelievable. Here's some more Neil Adams. This is much later when he had his own when he had a much better thing going. Rudy Neverest inks on top of Neil Adams. How about that? Oh no, sorry,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm wrong. It's Tom Grindberg, which is still really good. This is
Yep.
he is a Neil Adams disciple or acolyte, and I'm not supposed to be looking on the insides, but I just pick up any of these.
There's your receipt.
Yes, this was up in Ithaca. So I went through a long box. I think that was like $1 box. And I found this Black Web. And I'm not going to crack the cover, but this looks like a power comic. And
That looks awesome.
it's dated 1993. I've never seen anything like this. It's kind of weird. We'll go over that later. I picked up a Samaree, which is Neil Adams cover. She's the this is Mark Beecham pencils. The Samaree is the ninja warrior that cannot help but get into revealing poses up her crotch every single panel. So these are and she's wearing like the barest of I mean, everything is like up her butt. So I don't know. It's just amazing how
They call it a
coincidental
thong.
all
They
those
call it a thong.
shots were. Right. And then finally for today, I got Call the Destroyer. Now, every 25-cent Marvel comic is good too, but it's not as good as every 20-cent Marvel comic. And this is a Jim Starlin cover, so I don't know if he was sitting around doing covers, but this is an incredible pickup for $1. You got a Jim Starlin cover and Mike Plug insides, written by Steve
Loving
Engelhart.
it.
Loving it. I just want to see if there's a backup
Loving
feature.
it.
No, there's no backup feature. It's all Plugy. We got
Plugs.
Plugization solidly through. And the inker is Jack Abel, which is not the best Mike Plug inker, but it's not bad either. So that's my haul. That's a mini haul. And I still have some haul for next episode. Next, I want to mention my Tumblr experience. So if you go to if anybody's on Tumblr listening to the sound of my voice, I'm going to try to do live Tumblr drawing sessions when I'm solo and I'm bored and I don't have Kurt around to be my pal. The account is Doom Mags, DoomMags, all one word, Doom Mags, and I had a pretty interesting experience, Kurt.
Yeah.
I tried out Twitch, broadcasting live on Twitch for some live drawing, not life drawing, live drawing. And I didn't get anybody. I got 2 people there the whole time and nobody left a comment, nobody engaged. When I go over to Tumblr, it's a little bit weird. There were some people that are into comics. There were a couple of people here and there that were engaging. They were leaving comments and talking. But mostly it was just people coming and going, coming and going, coming and going, coming and going. It was
Yeah,
crazy.
they're looking for where the action is.
They're
Man.
looking for something that they want, and then they see like this ain't it, and then they dip out. But then some people stayed around.
Are you naked while you're drawing?
Right. I'm not like a hot chick doing my hair, but I am
Oh, don't
drawing.
say that, Jake. Oh, don't say that, Jake.
I'm drawing hot chicks sometimes. And and I got into some good conversations. I was like, what are your favorite comics? What are your favorite
Yeah.
characters?
Yeah.
And then you get to talk while you're drawing. I love doing that. I mean, it's better than just sitting there drawing, listening to some podcast. I mean, if you want to timestamp this, folks should know that as we're speaking, we're like a month into the Israeli-Palestine war, and this dominating the news. It's so tragic, and as somebody doing a post-apocalyptic comic, I'm just seeing all these photos of Gaza and the
It's
wreckage,
insane.
and
It's insane.
unfortunately, it's like I hate to say that it's good for references, because this is a massacre, this is a human toll that's being taken, and everybody's protesting and everything. But if you're listening to this, right now, we've been a couple of weeks into this, and sometimes real life does, you know, uh, you know, peek its head into our podcast.
Mm-hmm.
um there's a lot to talk about with people. A lot of conversations come up, and when you're drawing comics, you have to occupy your mind. You can't just sit there in silence and draw comics. You'll go nuts. So it's nice to talk about comics and some uplifting things, after you've listened to the news and you've really got your daily dose of depression, and feeling helpless, to help anybody. so so Tumblr was really interesting, much better than Twitch for me. And if anybody wants to subscribe or friend me or whatever you call it, you can like me, you can heart me. Go over to Tumblr and check out Doom Mags and get an alert next time I go live, so that whenever we're Kurtless, we can still hang out.
Kurtless, I like that.
And you could just leave comments, as I'm drawing live, and bring up any topic that you want. So I wanted to plug that. Check. Next, eBay update. I'm past the 2,000 mark on eBay.
Ooh.
Selling off stuff. I am going to be also selling boxes and boxes of comics. I have records. I don't have too much time during the school week for this kind of stuff, but I am we're saving up here. I'm making a fund, and the fund can be used for a lot of different things. But my hope was to use it for hiring an artist to get us off the ground with another series that I'm writing or we're writing called B Movie She Devils, and it would be a sampler where we would just try to hire an artist on a trial basis, maybe to do a 4-page sampler, maybe like a teaser, maybe an 8-page sampler, like a 6-page sampler, something like that. And that's just the beginning of it. But I have tons of stuff in my closets and my garage, that's worth money, and I'm eBaying it all. Once you give eBay their fees, and once you deduct the shipping, and then once you pay appropriate taxes, $2,000 turns to probably like $1,300 or something. But I'm still going, and I'm just gonna keep going with that. And I'm a little behind on getting together the Whatnot streams where I'm going to sell lots and lots of comics, affordable comics, reader copies. The comics that I'm showing you guys here, definitely will auction off to raise money there. But I'm still cold feet on the Twitch because I still haven't bought the mailers yet. I need to buy the mailers, and I need to do it the day before a day off, because the next day has to be just populating the mailers and sending them all off. You have 24 hours to do that. So I'm gonna have to do that during a break or something. You need to when you do Twitch, as soon as somebody bids, the money's good. Their credit card.
You mean Whatnot? You mean Whatnot, not Twitch. You're not doing
Yes,
Twitch.
sorry,
You're doing
Whatnot.
Whatnot.
Right. Although you could maybe simulcast on Twitch. I don't know. That's probably breaking the terms of service. So that's an update on that. Next thing, and I think I got my design, my basic design. This is just going to be just like a piece of sheet metal with a cutout here, and they're just going to be crouching underneath it, I guess, with like a helmet and some goggles. The last thing on my rundown is I blame Kurt.
Oh no! What did I
Kurt and I
do
chipped in
now?
a while ago. Kurt and I chipped in for some downloadable B movies. And I admittedly have been dragging my feet getting around to watching them. But I watched one the other night.
Here they are. Here they are. We bought 10. 10 of these?
Right. So you
20
see
of
the
them?
one that says Black Candles?
Yeah, hold on. I think
Is
it's
that one
this
there?
one. This is like the heart. Yeah. Black Candles. Yes, Black Candles.
Okay,
Carol
one.
and her boyfriend Paul traveled to England after the unexpected death of her brother.
Right. And that's all they say? They don't say the part where they
Oh,
put a
no.
red hot poker on the guy's butt?
Ooh, they did say that.
Okay, so
Sorry.
I'm watching
Sorry.
this. I'm watching this movie. Oh my God. I don't know. They were in England, but I think it might have been an Italian production. Oh God, was this a bad movie? Holy God.
Now you're making me really want to watch it.
I know. Well, I'll tell you what it involves. Satanism, satanic cults, psychodrama, losing your mind, am I losing my mind type of stuff, gratuitous sex and nudity, full frontal every like 20, 15 minutes, just a scene with
Check.
no,
Check.
yeah,
Yeah, you got to just check all the boxes off, man.
yeah, no rhyme or reason, indiscriminate, willy-nilly. And then at the end, no plot, and then like when the credits roll, you're just shaking your head, like
Oh,
what?
I love those kinds of movies.
Oh
Oh
my
God,
God!
I love those
there's that kind of bad movie, but then um
Uh-oh.
I want you to flash on the screen. I have a screenshot which I'll where's my other device? I have which I'll send you as soon as we're done here. But um, I watched on Netflix or whatever I'm on now. What am I on now? Roku or something. Yeah, it was. There's a movie called The Exterminator 3000,
That sounds
and
familiar.
yeah, and I watched this a while ago, and I didn't get to see it. I mean, I didn't get to report back on it. It's called Exterminators of the Year 3000. And it was made 1983, which is like just a year or two after Road Warrior comes out. It is the biggest Road Warrior ripoff I've ever seen. And
It's an
doesn't even.
Italian production. It's got this really like good looking American guy, right?
Yes, it does. Well, I don't think
Yeah.
I don't even know if he's American, but it's it's got very cool covers and very cool graphics, and it's very exploitational in the way that they drag you in. But then when you see the movie, oh god. So this one,
Zero.
yeah, this one is a groaner, like, and but in a more fun way, because there's action, explosions, like nothing's funnier than low budget action, like seriously, like, chase scenes, um and then all this like kind of like tough talk and posturing, and it's just a much better bad movie than the other bad movie. And um I'm going to check out anything that is Road Warrior related, till the day I die. And so this was definitely that. But boy, did they, I don't know, they just had a low budget, and they just came out bad. And they have like kid actors, violence happening to kids. It was just so wrong in every way. So I just wanted to share that. So
Well,
that's it.
speaking of sharing and watching, I last night finished watching HBO's Scavenger's Reign, which I talked about. Oh gosh, maybe 3 or 4 episodes that I could not wait for this.
Right.
It is being hyperbolic on purpose, but I will stick to the statement that it's very it's very revolutionary in animation series goes. And the reason I say that is probably there's most definitely other series out there animation wise that are being produced the same way. But oh, Jake, this animation, I wrote the notes down and it's real quick. If you like Mobius, if you like Miyazaki, if you like cosmic horror, this
Uh-huh.
is your shit. I was completely taken. It was first an 8-minute short called Scavenger, and it's I don't really want to ruin anything because I really want to see these guys get a second season. So they then got picked up by HBO. They did this whole 24 minutes each, 12 episodes in 80 weeks. And it's the first time they had done production. So, like on this level. So hurrah for them. Um, the only thing I would say critically about it is I think it was too long. And
Okay.
the reason I say that is because I don't like when you start adding into a story to hopefully get another season to pay your bills. That kind of television, you'd just be like, wow, that was a really great season. Oh, that was a good season. And by the time you're on season 4, you're like, why am I watching this? Now, it wasn't that bad. There was a lot of cliffhanging at the end to set you up for a second season.
Yeah,
But everything else, the fluidity of the animation, the
I'm looking at it.
character
Yeah.
development, the worlds or the
The
world they're
creature.
on, and the creatures. Oh my God, Jake! It was spectacular. And like I said, the number one reason I would suggest anybody to watch it, I'm a huge cosmic horror fan, and I loved Annihilation, and the movie, with Natalie Portman and Oscar Isaacs, and a couple other really great actors, actresses. But it was it was almost like a cartoon version of that. But you got a lot more kind of, maybe no. I'm going to retract that statement. I'm not even going to say it. It didn't give you any more or less. I think the world building on another planet would probably
Yeah.
be the only bonus to the outside of Annihilation. But
Yeah.
I just have to say, if you have HBO, just watch the first episode and see if you cannot watch the second episode, because the setup is insane and it does pay off at the end.
Yeah.
So I really, and then the other reason I actually subscribed for a month to um, HBO is my favorite television series, or I should say season show, and I'll be watching it for the fifth time this week, is True Detectives with Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson. The most insane. I even bring this into the world of cosmic horror. And if you haven't seen that, you got to see that too. If you're really into spooky, what the hell's going on business, um, you know, it's super great. So
Yeah. You
that's
like
what
that?
I got on them.
You like that X-Files, the kind of genre, right?
I did back in the day. I didn't appreciate it enough because I was too young. I think I was still trying. I was still consuming pop underground stuff like Conan the Barbarian, Quentin Tarantino movies, Robert Rodriguez. I was so caught up in that to sit down and actually absorb what X Files was giving.
Right.
I got to do. I got to do it again. But before that, I'm a huge Doctor Who fan.
Uh,
So I've been. They're all on. Well, no, not all of them. Some of the episodes were erased by the BBC, so they're missing episodes. But they're on Amazon Prime. So I've been giving myself a treat here and there and watching a season of Doctor Who from the beginning. From the beginning too, by the way.
oh, the original
Not
one.
just not just the Tom
Oh,
Bakers, the fourth
wow.
Doctor. No, I've been watching them straight from the black and whites on, and they're superior. Once again, superior stuff. You want to talk about camp and all that kind of thing?
Yeah,
It's
they.
an
I
excellent
thought
writing. Excellent writing.
it didn't really grab me when I was younger because it was kind of slow moving, and
Yeah,
you could tell it was filmed on a
but you
soundstage
know
with
what's really
real.
nice? You know what was really nice about Scavenger's Reign and Doctor Who episodes? They're only 24 minutes long, so you don't feel like you've got to finish another 24 minutes and then feel like you wasted your time, which then makes you pretty bent on the show. And so then you, at least for me, I then end up not wanting to watch anything else again. So like from that series. So
Yeah, last night, well, 2 nights ago, I asked my wife. We haven't sat down and watched a movie in a while, and I said, "You got anything with sci-fi and karate and animated?" And she was like, "No." So we ended up watching. We ended up watching this Kevin Sorbo movie, like this, kind of like
hotness,
political
hotness.
political Christian, conspiracy theory movie called Left
Uh,
Behind.
oh,
That
I'm on. I'm in.
apparently everybody's talking about it, and I had never seen it. I think it's a book series, but it's called Left Behind: Rise of the Antichrist. And oh my God, they have all these Christian movies out that have these kind of like messages, subversive or indoctrination messages. So the quick spoiler on that movie was that it was really, really low budget and, not too much special effects, not too much action. There was one car explosion, if I remember. But, what they're trying to sell you is that, you know, the Bible is the key to solving the mystery, that are going on, even as the corporations are taking over the world and the corrupt people are taking over the UN with one global currency and all of this stuff that you hear about. Ugh. So
Good old fashioned conspiracy. But hey,
yeah.
look, I hate to cut you off. We are almost 50 minutes in. We like to stay around 45 minutes to keep these things bite sized. We also have to get prepped for our last indie comic creator interview of the year. And that's going to be with Gotham. And he did The Last Earth. And we're going to be doing that in about 30 minutes with him. And he also has a YouTube channel. That's how I found this. And it's called Pulp to Pixel. So we're really looking forward to hanging out with Gotham and finding out more about that. Also, with that being said, 2024, two big things that I want to start pushing. We're going to be completing the Turbo Teaser number 2, and we're going to be really doubling down on the comics creator, what we also call the Indie Comics Exchange, which is basically we send you a Turbo Teaser, and this one will be the second one we'll be sending out next year. And you send us your comic, and we get together and we talk on there. One of the exciting things I'm looking forward to 2024 is the 10 individuals, 9 or 10 individuals, creators that we've had on. We're going to have them back. So I'm even getting emails from fellow creators, indie creators, saying, you got me inspired. I'm staying on it. I've got issue 2 or whatever it is that they were, making their way towards. And so next year's going to be really, really exciting, as this year was, and it will be us moving into our 3rd year, Jake.
Yeah, folks should let us know which ones were your favorites and who you want to see back again and again. I have my favorite. And we'll do big catch ups with them. Don't forget also to check out our other channel, which is Comics of Influence, where we go through the comics. We do flip throughs. Kurt does one, I do one, and we take turns and we talk about great stuff. And then maybe sometimes we even go back and try to contact the creators. And Kurt's been doing a great job as a super sleuth finding these guys and getting them on.
Thank you. All right, Jake. Well, let these people get back to reading comics, making them if they so choose, and I will see you in the interview coming up.
All right, my man. Later.